meditation is derived from my study on Saucha, or Saucha, which means purity or cleanliness. One of the niyamas in yoga. So practices to do for yourself. And I thought to myself, running out of ideas, what if we cleaned our perception of ourselves? A lot of us feel like we're not enough, whether we're flawed in some way. What would it feel like to feel like you were enough? That you were just exactly what you're supposed to be. Let's take a moment. Well, we'll start with deep breathing. So I'm going to breathe into the belly. If it helps, put a hand on the heart, hand on the belly. We're going to try to raise just a hand on the belly. Deep breaths in the nose. You can exhale out the mouth or the nose. Let's make them slow. First one, we'll do an inhale of 5. And exhale of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we'll do that a few more times. Your intention. That's how you want to feel or show up in this world. Breath at the top and release. If you're one of those people who tend to feel guilty over things that they're maybe every little thing, maybe you're worried about hurting others' feelings. Feel responsible for others. Just take a moment. Think to your intention. Most likely it was positive. Even if the intention is to feel confident. Well, what does confidence do for you? Helps you be at ease. How can we most benefit others if that's what you're trying to do? Being authentically you and at ease being you. So take a moment to think about what are your perceived flaws from your point of view. said it was a flaw. Parts of us are flawed by outside sources. Media is a big one. So that we will purchase something or to get something from us. What if you were perfect as you are? Maladaptive guilt. It's guilt over things that you have no control over. Do you feel guilty for your feelings? Do you feel responsible for others' emotions? You have a child that came up to you feeling guilty for their feelings, or that felt responsible for others, what would you tell them? Responsibility you have is for you, for your feelings. You may have things, people, animals in your care, but the only feelings you can control or thoughts are your own. You're allowed to have feelings. So can you honor yourself and let yourself feel what you feel? Of course, we can study how we feel. That's Vajaya. Study how you feel. Why do I feel this way? It's really helpful to understanding yourself. And you might find that your perception is right on. Find out that your perception is flawed. In either case, it's okay. My example is if somebody asks you to do something, but you don't want to do it, and then you feel bad about yourself for not wanting to do it. If it were the other way around, would you want another person to honor their feelings? Most likely. And responsibility for others. You can only control thoughts. You can only choose to be happy for yourself. And others can only choose to be happy themselves. So can you let yourself off the hook for the responsibility of others' feelings and emotions? Guilt stems from, but one thing that guilt stems from is fear of harming others. So if you are afraid of harming others, why would you think that you're a bad person? You care. That matters. Earlier, to think of your small self, your inner child. I like to say, my little Rachel. What do they need? Forgotten that we matter. We've forgotten our feelings matter. We've forgotten our responsibility to ourselves. Maybe we were told that this is selfish. Let's change that narrative. How about centered on the self? Centered on myself, I'll make changes I need to make. I'll become authentically me. And in working on myself, I become more at ease, more at peace. That's when I'm a blessing. That's when you're a blessing. Maybe trying to work as a blender when we're a microwave. That's when to listen to those feelings. Somebody asks you to do something you don't want to do, and you really don't want to do it. Take a while, take a minute to think. Hey, if you really want to, think about why is it I don't want to do this? And could be just taking you away from what you were meant to do. Sometimes we focus on things that aren't really our ideas or for us, and that takes away from what is for us. So you say yes to a bunch of little things that you don't want to do, and in essence you're saying no to the things you do want to do. Feel how I feel. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale. I'm free to feel how I feel. My emotions, no one else's. I'm free to disappoint and delight. Deep inhale. Disappoint and delight. And thinking that you'll never be able to delight everyone. And I guarantee you're not disappointing everyone. The idea is for you to live in your authentic function, your authenticity. Not least, matter of fact, maybe the most important, I'm a pure and powerful soul. Before we breathe in, even if you don't feel that you're a pure soul, as I said before, I'm sure that intention was pure. If you're holding on to guilt, especially if you're holding on to responsibility for how other people feel. You're powerful because you can create anything that you want in this world. Way of proving that, imagine something that, or remember something you've imagined before. Doctor, a yoga teacher, a mom, a dad. Those were ideas that were in your head, and you became them. So I am a pure and powerful soul. Deep inhale. Release. contemplate, how can I have a better perception of myself? Because when you view yourself as loving, whole, good, when you view yourself in a loving way, it's easier to be loving to those in the world. Also teaching others how to do the same. And that is a blessing. You being your authentic, loving, peaceful self is a blessing to everyone. Your hands together with your heart. May you be blessed, whole, and free, and walk through this world confidently.